aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese Case Stories, Cases Judged by Bao Gong. Today, I'm going to bring you a story called Drainage Ditch Thief. In Hunan Province, in the county of Yanggu under the jurisdiction of Kaifeng Prefecture, there lived a man named Yi Guang, who had married a woman with the surname Chuan. Yi Guang's wife was exceptionally beautiful, comparable to the ancient Chinese beauty Shishir. Not only was she beautiful, but she was also clever and charming. The couple lived in a relatively secluded part of the village, with only one main house and few neighbors. They made a living by weaving mats, with the wife working diligently every day at the loom to barely make ends meet. One day, Yi Guang noticed that they had only a few taels of silver left at home. He left 1 tael and 5 qian for his wife to cover daily expenses and purchase weaving materials, and then took the remaining 2 taels and 5 qian to travel to Shijing, intending to engage in some small trade there. A year after Yi Guang had left, a young man named Wu Ying, about 16 years old, handsome and unmarried, happened to pass by Yi Guang's house. He saw Yi Guang's wife, Chuan, and was immediately smitten by her beauty. Wu Ying inquired about Chuan from the nearby neighbors and learned that her husband was away doing business. He devised a plan, borrowed some paper and ink, and forged a letter. He then went directly to Yi Guang's house. Upon meeting Chuan, he respectfully greeted her and said, "My name is Wu Ying. Last year, I happened to meet your husband in Shijing. We became good friends, sharing similar interests. I just returned home yesterday, and Yi Guang asked me to bring you this letter. He also instructed me to assist you with anything you might need. He said that he would thank me personally upon his return, so you don't need to worry." Seeing that Wu Ying was handsome and sincere, and believing that he was sent by her husband to look after her, Chuan was delighted and warmly received him. As time went by, the two of them began to exchange affectionate glances and couldn't help but fall for each other. Eventually, they embraced, shared a bed, and lived together as if they were husband and wife. Since Chuan lived in a secluded area, no one knew about their affair. From that point on, Wu Ying frequently visited Yi Guang's house without any hindrance. Time passed quickly, and 9 years flew by. Yi Guang, who had been doing business in Shijing, had earned 16 taels of silver. Thinking of his lonely wife and young child at home, he decided to pack up and return. He was eager to get back and made few stops along the way. In just a few days, he reached the outskirts of his village, but it was already the middle of the night. Yi Guang thought to himself, "Our house has only one main room, and the front door is barely enough to block the wind, let alone keep out thieves. If I take this large sum of silver home, it might get stolen. I should hide the silver in the drainage ditch near our house and retrieve it later." At that time, Yi Guang's wife, Chuan, was asleep in their home with Wu Ying. Hearing Yi Guang calling at the door, Chuan hurriedly dressed and opened the door to let her husband in. Wu Ying, terrified, hid behind the door and then quietly slipped outside to hide. Chuan prepared some food and drink for her husband, and they briefly caught up. After eating, they went to bed. Chuan asked, "My dear, you've been away for 9 years doing business and never came home. I've struggled to make a living here. Did you manage to earn any money?" Yi Guang proudly replied, "I earned 16 taels of silver. But I was worried that our house isn't secure enough and feared thieves might steal it, so I didn't bring the silver home. Instead, I hid it in the drainage ditch near our house." Chuan was shocked and said, "Husband, since you brought back such a large sum of silver, you should bring it inside right away. Don't worry about thieves. I'm more concerned that if someone finds out where you hid it, they might take it." Yi Guang listened to his wife's advice and quickly got up to retrieve the silver. However, Wu Ying, who had been eavesdropping outside, heard their conversation. Knowing where the silver was hidden, he hurriedly stole it before Yi Guang could get there. After searching for a long time without finding the silver, Yi Guang returned home, and he and his wife had a heated argument. In desperation, Yi Guang wrote up a petition detailing the incident and submitted it to Bao Gong at Kaifeng Prefecture. Bao Gong, upon reading the petition, summoned Yi Guang's wife, Chuan, for questioning. He reasoned that since Yi Guang returned home late at night and there were few neighbors around, who else could have overheard their conversation and precisely stolen the silver? It had to be that Chuan was involved with another man who overheard their conversation and stole the silver. Thinking this, Bao Gong questioned Chuan about her relations with other men, but she steadfastly denied any involvement. Bao Gong then ordered his officers to post notices about Yi Guang's lost silver, but secretly instructed the constables Zhang Qian and Li Wan, saying, "I'll have the notice posted outside the yamen. You two will escort Chuan in public, telling the townspeople that she is being sold by the authorities. Pay close attention. If anyone approaches her or speaks to her privately, bring that person to me. I have a plan." Zhang and Li did as Bao Gong instructed. They escorted Chuan through town for almost half a day when suddenly Wu Ying, having heard about the situation, came to find her and speak with her privately. Zhang Qian and Li Wan promptly brought Wu Ying before Bao Gong. Bao Gong asked him, "Who are you?" Wu Ying replied, "I am a distant relative of this woman, which is why I came to see her." Bao Gong then asked, "Since you are her distant relative, are you married?" Wu Ying answered, "I am not married yet because my family is very poor." Bao Gong said, "Since you are not married, I can arrange for this woman to be married to you on behalf of the government. You just need to bring out 20 taels of silver. I can provide a scale to weigh the silver for you." Wu Ying, looking distressed, said, "I am too poor to come up with that much money." Bao Gong pretended to think for a moment and said, "If you can't manage 20 taels, then 15 taels will do." Wu Ying again pleaded poverty, saying he could not gather that much silver. Bao Gong, feigning impatience, said, "Since you are here to see her and you are her relative, I originally intended to sell her for 55 taels. Seeing your earnestness, you can have her for 12 taels of silver. How about that? Seeing no way to refuse, Wu Ying melted the stolen silver and cut off 12 taels to bring to the yamen for weighing. Bao Gong took the silver, asked Wu Ying to wait outside, and then brought Yi Guang into the hall, asking, "Look, is this silver yours?" Yi Guang inspected it carefully and replied, "This silver doesn't look like mine. I dare not claim it hastily." Bao Gong then had Yi Guang wait outside and brought Wu Ying back in. He said, "I just called this woman's husband here, intending to give him your silver. But he said his wife is very beautiful and he is reluctant to part with her. He insists on 15 taels. You need to borrow more money. Once the silver is enough, you can take the woman away. Hurry up." Wu Ying had no choice but to return home to get more silver. Bao Gong privately summoned Zhang Qian and Li Wan, instructing them, "Follow Wu Ying. If you see him trying to melt the original silver again, tell him that I instructed him not to melt it. The quality of the silver doesn't matter, he just needs to bring the silver to see me." The two men followed Wu Ying closely. Back at home, Wu Ying started melting the silver again. Zhang Qian immediately relayed Bao Gong's message to him. Reluctantly, Wu Ying took out 3 taels of silver and brought it to the yamen. Bao Gong had him wait outside and called Yi Guang in to identify the silver. Upon seeing it, Yi Guang burst into tears and said, "This silver is indeed mine. How did it end up here?" Bao Gong, still cautious about falsely accusing Wu Ying, said, "This silver was taken from the treasury of my yamen. How can you claim it so recklessly?" Yi Guang explained repeatedly, "Your Honor, I earned this money through hard work and am very familiar with every piece of my silver. If you don't believe me, you can weigh it. I also marked each piece of silver." Bao Gong had the silver weighed, and it matched Yi Guang's description perfectly. Thus, he ordered the arrest and interrogation of Wu Ying. Eventually, Wu Ying confessed to his crimes, and the stolen silver was returned to Yi Guang. In the end, Bao Gong's verdict was as follows. Yi Guang's wife, Chuan, was punished according to the law for committing adultery. Wu Ying, for stealing Yi Guang's silver and committing adultery with Chuan, was sentenced to 100 strokes and 3 years of imprisonment. After serving their sentences, Yi Guang and his wife returned home and continued their lives together. Alright. Today's case story, Drainage Ditch Thief, concludes here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share with others. See you again in the next issue.